Hello, and welcome to another episode of Otaku Talk. It's been a very long time since we bothered to put up another episode, and there's no real excuse other than, I'm sorry.
We're sorry.
We established in the first episode, we are not professional at this. We're kind of flying by the seat of our pants here, and we're trying. We're trying. But we thought we'd bring another episode before Easter break hits and hopefully actually get on track for an actual schedule and start doing this more.
Yeah, have fun and stuff.
But we've said that for the past few months or so, and anyway, enough about our mishaps and mistakes. We should get on to the episode.
Yes,
which is
we should.
anime that made us cry.
Yes.
Tears are the only thing proper for a I'm sorry video, I feel.
Yeah.
yeah.
I
I can easily say I am not that big of a crier when it comes to anime,
And then there's me.
but that being so, I can be mad enough to admit there are still a few that make me bawl like a small child,
Or like a big test.
or like a big baby Tess.
Hello, that's me.
Now, looking at our list that we have to go through, my list is considerably smaller. So, so I think it will only be fair for Tess to hit off first.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll just start from the top of my list.
And I know Johnny could also kind of talk about this one. Full Metal Alchemist. Whether it's the original 2003 series, Brotherhood, or even the live-action movie that came out on Netflix.
Didn't look like that good to me.
Either way, it still had the same stuff in there that made me cry at least. We're going to talk about what exactly that is.
Well, we're planning on putting a spoiler warning at the beginning of this.
Yes.
So go ahead and say whatever you like.
Okay. Well, the first part that always makes me cry is Shao Tucker and what he does.
Would you like to elaborate?
He turns his daughter and his dog into a talking chimera, and then they just, and it happens in every series. And just recently we've watched the 2003 series, and Johnny got plenty of angry texts.
And what she means is full capitalization, back-to-back rants.
Yeah.
And while his heart was in a good place to revive his daughter, he went about it in wrong ways, and it was not that good of a result, not that good of an ending for the poor little girl and the dog.
No, it wasn't.
But that scene was sad to me, but it did not make me cry. What made me cry was when the alchemists lost one of their own in a phone booth.
Yeah, that also makes me cry.
It was Colonel Hughes, right?
Yeah, Colonel Mace Hughes.
May Hughes, the man who loved his daughter more than life itself, and who was a real family man.
He was such a good boy.
He was doing his job, trying to deliver information, and trying to be a good state alchemist.
And then the homunculi happened.
The one thing that bothered me more than anything else was two scenes after the death. And that was his little girl questioning why they burying daddy,
That broke my heart.
and the flame alchemists, what's his name again?
Roy Mustang.
Red Mustang, being known to be a hard ass and being tough, actually cheering and complaining that it's raining when it was a clear day out.
Yeah.
Because for someone that strong to break means that meant a lot to him. And that's what made me go, oh, well,
Yeah.
that hurts.
Also, the ending to the first series also just made me cry, because Ed sacrifices himself to save his brother, and his brother has no memories of the past couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And that made me weep like a little baby.
That was sad. Now, to transition to one of mine, a not so well known anime called Berserk made me very, very sad. And it's more of the manga that made me sad, but it touches base a little bit on the anime as well. What made me sad is the whole reason the main character Guts is fighting. And to not get too far into things, because it is a very adult manga, it's a very adult anime, and actually probably is not okay for me to go into too much detail of exactly what happens to this man. But he sees the woman in front of him get taken. He loses his arm. He loses everything. Every friend he ever had, everyone who ever close to him, in one night dies. He is left with nothing. He's left with scars, a lost arm, and left with nothing but hate in his heart. His only goal throughout the whole series is to get revenge for that one moment in his life. And the reason why that hurts is because he constantly has nightmares about the people that he died because of this. He remembers the people who treated him nice, the people who were by his side. He remembers the girl he fell in love with and has to travel with a now baby-like state of her. She is back to like childlike mentality where she's scared of scary things. She wants to cry, she wants to hide, she can't talk, she can't do anything.
Oh.
And he needs to protect her while he knows all this happened and he's the sole survivor who remembers everything. This being so, there's so many things that draw back to this, like she ends up having a child because of this, and Guts wants to kill it immediately, because technically it's the child of the man who killed everyone. This child being hated, being unwanted, Guts can't find himself to kill it when he first sees it. Later in the series, it comes out of nowhere and ends up dying to protect its mother.
Oh.
Something that was considered hated, unwanted, demon. That Guts himself, a man full of rage and uncaring, couldn't hurt, saved Casca, the woman, by giving its own life to save her and giving its life to make hers continue. What's switching a little bit away from the anime, in the manga, there's a slight teaser where she's gaining her memories back. That is not a good thing because then she'll remember that night everyone died.
Yeah.
And that's something that's going to hurt me a lot. Because this has been 500 pages of his journey trying to get her memories back and trying to save her. This has been, in the anime, like over a few seasons of him just trying to get revenge, and the minute she remembers,
It's gonna hurt.
it's going to hurt him.
It's gonna hurt
that's-
everyone.
And that's going to make me, but what makes me sense, I've cried over this because to imagine a man that has to deal with that much sadness, depression, and still have to keep fighting every day. There are so many scenes that are touching where you can see humanity coming in, like all the anger vanishes and he just doesn't want to live anymore. He's tired, he doesn't want to fight. But then he has to save those he cares about. He has to fight to save the woman he loves. He has to fight for the revenge he needs to get. And then some of those scenes, he's a man who doesn't want to open up, but when he does, it's one of those like heartbreaking moments. So,
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I love the series so much, is because of all this. But the worst part of all is the whole entire series is the reason why he's fighting. Your next one?
Okay, so we've kind of talked about this series before. It's Death Note. And really the only part that made me cry was when Elle died. Because I was the biggest Elle fangirl. I mean, hello, I have a plushie of him right here. But, I cried and I had to like take a break from watching the show and just kind of sit there for a minute and go, what, why? And I was upset.
Just a little bit. I was actually a little bit upset when the other Shigami,
Ryu?
no, the Shigami.
Oh, right. I do that all the time.
When she was willing to die for a human.
Yeah, that too.
That was just a touching. It wasn't anything sad, I guess. It just more of a touching moment.
Yeah.
Another anime for me is Bleach. Some consider this overrated anime. A lot of people don't like it because they think it's drawn out. But
I mean...
it's true, but there are actually a lot of good parts about it too.
Yeah,
and
I don't give it that.
But something that Tess brought up when I was actually talking about Bleach is the movie she watched, Memories of Nobody. And the one part of that hurt the most was the ending. You remember that at all?
Nope. It's been years.
Where he has to carry the girl to her grave.
Oh, okay, now I remember.
and
yeah.
tells her that he found her gravestone, but it's not hers. And he does this only to let her have peace that she existed.
Yeah.
It was one of those touching and just wrap up moments as her soul vanished. Because she was nothing, but he wanted to show her she meant something,
Right.
that she was there. It was one of those touching, sweet moments that made me go, well, now I'm sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sad.
That is pretty sad though. Okay. So my next one is also one we've already touched about back in the unknown / underrated episode that we did. Haibane Renmai. And I cried when the one Haibane, I forget her name at the moment, but she took her day of flight and she was like the main character, Raka's like main person she looked up to. Because she was the youngest before her, and suddenly she was gone, and that hurt everyone in that show. Like, Raka didn't know what to do, she just wanted her friend back.
There was true pain in all their expressions of this happened too.
Yeah, because a lot of them were just like, why'd she go? She was here the shortest time. It should have been one of us. And, yeah.
Is that what you say for that one?
Yeah, because it's the other part that really made me sad. I guess also Reki's backstory also made me a little sad too.
I was a little upset when the black feathers started showing up,
Yeah.
and how I can't remember her name. The girl started having a meltdown because of it.
Raka?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She started having a meltdown, started tearing her own feathers.
Yeah, Raka.
I felt really bad about
yeah.
that. That felt like.
That also hurt me.
I'm sitting on yours now.
Okay.
Hello, Pokemon. The
Yeah.
reason why I bring this up is because when I was little, even now sometimes he's hurt, the one scene that everyone can agree that hurts is that Butterfree scene.
Yep.
And I don't know why, whether it's just because it's so drawn out, the goodbye, or the flashback memories he has, or because as a child I loved watching this so much. That scene hurt a lot. To the point where I think I was crying much as Ash was when it first happened. And that's not the only scene of Pokemon that made me cry. Because there's also the death of Celebi.
That's the one that got me.
The Mewtwo movie, where Ash is turned to stone and all the Pokemon are fighting with tears in their eyes and crying
Right.
for the war that's happening. And I think there was one more, and I can't remember right now.
I don't know, but I know mine was the Celebi movie because that was one of the few movies from Pokemon I owned and would watch it all the time. And every time I'd get to that scene and Ash is crying, trying to feed him the berry, I cry with him. Because, man, I love Celebi. Just a happy little Pokemon.
Happy little nature boy.
Yeah, happy little nature boy. Okay, I guess I'll go next. Kiki's Delivery Service, one of Hayao Miyazaki's films, and arguably my favorite one. Not arguably, it is. I can quote it front to back. And that movie always makes me sad when it gets to the point where Kiki loses her powers and she just has that little meltdown and tries to make a broom again and try to fly on it, and it just doesn't work, and she can't talk to Gigi anymore. I feel for her. It hurts. It still hurts me. I'm sad now.
Can I go?
Yeah,
Or
go.
you're sad?
Oh, well, I'm sad.
So, I'm going to sound real stupid right now, because if anyone hasn't seen One Piece, they're going to ask, why did I cry over something like this? I cried over a ship. There are reasons why. Through the series, they're riding on one ship mainly. And when the ship gets broken down, torn asunder, they learn that there's a spirit in the ship that repairs the ship on their adventures. And no matter what they go through, they never hear the spirit until it's last minute and weird things happen. The thing that hit me is they set fire to the ship to let it burn and give it a proper burial. and the spirit on the ship thanked them for one less adventure.
Oh.
And it was one of those things where none of the pirates were expecting it. So they started crying and begging for forgiveness for the ship. That they're sorry for how much they abused it, how much adventure they went on, and how much the ship was so thankful that it actually took care of her, that it was so good to it. So I cried over a ship.
You sure did.
Hey, I almost have tears in my eyes because I remember the ship. Go away.
Yes, that means it's my turn. And let's go with Your Lie in April, which is just a sad show in general because it's about a music kid who lost the ability to hear his own music. And that in itself is sad, and his backstory with his mother is sad. But the part that got me was when the girl who made him happy again and he was falling in love with and got him back into music and had all of these good memories with, she died.
Oh.
And we knew she was sick because there were scenes of her in the hospital. But like when it happens, you didn't expect it because like she was in school like the next day or the day before and everything, and then she was gone and he was heartbroken, and it was like right before a concert too, I think, that he had to perform it. And
That's sad.
yeah,
That made me sad.
this whole episode's just gonna make everyone sad. We're sorry if you get sad, by the way.
Now,
I feel you.
okay. I have actually run an anime that actually made me cry, because for me, a lot of times it's not the sad moments in anime that make me cry. It's the happy resolution of the strife is over or the person got what they want. That's what makes me like tear up happily. So I would like to talk about a manga that I just started reading not so long ago. It's called Cerberus. And the reason why it makes me happy is because the whole idea of it is it's a girl who's a Cerberus, but she's mistreated by Hades and basically thrown into the human world to find her two other heads. Basically, good luck. And the only person who defends her and actually tries to save her, she ends up biting. Because she's the demon dog of hell, she accidentally takes part of his soul. She bites the part of him that is able to express happiness. When she goes off back to hell, she has such turmoil, such hate for herself, such despise, so much of this energy. She ends up getting two other spirits. One who's more of a fighter and one who's more happy, who want to stand by her side. The happy one tells her to break free of Hades' chains and go find the boy to help him. So she breaks free and goes to help him. What hurts me is the main soul wears a mask. The reason why she does is because that's a punishment for herself. She doesn't want to eat anymore. She doesn't want to use her powers anymore. So she wears a mask so no one can see her face and she can't do anything. The whole reason why this makes me sad is because she's been trying the whole manga to make him happy, to do anything to make him smile. And she went to Hades himself and to Persephone? I don't know what I'm saying that. Persephone? They got
Persephone?
Persephone, yeah. Sorry. To beg for him to have his soul back. She was captured,
Oh.
but she made friends along the way, and even he came down to come save her.
Oh.
Persephone herself told him the horrors Hades might do to him, and with all the dangers, how he might lose his soul. He told Persephone to herself, he told her, I don't care. I don't want my soul back if this is what this means. So he wanted to go save her over everything else. She ended up being the one to save everyone because she liked the boy's energy. But because of the sacrifice, because of his wanting to save her, all three of the Cerberus heads / souls have fallen in love with him and he can now actually start to learn how to love again and be happy. He started smiling and laughing after that adventure. And there was a moment in the manga, I'm sorry I'm being so drama about this. There's a moment in the manga where he gives her flowers and tells her how beautiful she is. She chooses to run. She talks out loud to herself that she doesn't deserve it. She's still a bad dog, a bad person. What she did, she cannot forget. She says this out loud while a friend of hers is standing there, watering the plants. He jokes about how some people in your life make it better. How even if small incidents happen, they can make your life richer. And he tells her, you might want to throw those flowers away, but overall, you made him happy. You made his life. And the thing that made me tear up is she ran back to him, handed him the flowers, and said, can you please hand these back to me? When he did, she was the happiest she could have been. And just that scene, I'm like, that's cute. That makes me happy.
I want you to know, it made me crying.
Because she was like, it was such like a happy moment, because this whole time, she wouldn't let herself smile, she wouldn't let herself feel emotions because he couldn't. This was the first genuine, like, she was smiling, she was happy, and it made me cry a little bit because I was like, oh, it was one of those happy cries.
Yeah.
I more have those than sad cries. I'm sorry I'm so long-winded. Up to you now.
It's okay, but that made me cry, and I haven't even read it, but just your explanation of it. Ow.
It's cute.
It's cute, yeah, and I kind of relate to the main girl from what I've heard, but hey. Anyway, up next is Ouran High School Host Club, because I am that much of a weeb, yes. But, the real part that just made me cry was the last 2 episodes of the anime, because it just ends on that cliff note where you don't know if Tamaki and Haruhi are going to be together, or if what have you, because that's when the club ends, that's when the series ends, and I realize the manga goes on more and there's more info with that, but for the longest time, that's all I had was just that ending of, ow, it's over. It's over, there's going to be no more, and you have to make up your own decision, and the manga, sure, it ends up with them together, but just the way it ended where everyone was also just kind of happy to be together. It was both a happy and a sad moment, because that's their last moment together, but yeah.
And I don't mean to be mean about this at all, but I actually see general wetness in Tessa's eyes right now.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm getting there too. So I have another manga to talk about called Somali. The scene that made me tear up was because it was the cutest thing I've ever seen. Somali is about demons and monsters have basically risen up. Humans are nearly extinct. Humans are rare and far, like, they don't really exist. And there's these people called watchmen, which are monsters, demons, that protect certain areas. Like this forest is guarded by watchmen. This one watchman's I want to say a cyborg-like person. He has heavy metal struck his body, he has a single eye that splits down his head. And he is very elegant, he's intelligent. He found one of these humans in his forest. She was shackled, she had torn clothes, and she was a kid that maybe looked like she was 8 years old. He decided to betray his duties. His duty was to stay in the forest and protect it until the day he died. He had only, I think it was 7 years left. Because his watchman only lived 1,000 years. But he decided in those last 7 years to take the girl and travel the world as much as possible to find any remains of humanity. His reason is he wants to find the child's parents.
Oh.
And he is not supposed to have a heart, not supposed to have feelings. These are not things a watchman has. But the thing that touched me is, he has been treating this as a job, a duty, something he has to do because that's what he set his mind to. But even he is starting to feel a fatherly bond to her. And it was in one of the manga chapters, out of nowhere, she started calling him father. And he tried to correct her saying, I'm not a father to you, I'm just this. And she goes, but you've been there for me, you're my father. And it was one of the moments of this, he was generally happy, he's sad, they're trying to understand, how am I a father to this girl, how does she love me, I am nothing to her. And that's something he couldn't understand because he's not supposed to have emotion. That's something that he's supposed to lack. But even with that, ever since that moment, he will fight to the death for her. He will run from a bullet. He'll do anything he can to protect her. Because in him, that's his daughter now. That is someone he must protect.
That's adorable.
Mm-hmm. And right now in the series, I think in the manga right now, I think he has 5 years left. And he wants to find her a happy life before his life is up. He's hiding from her, but his metal body is chipping away. Under his cloak, under his wristbands, everything else, the metal armor he's wearing that protects his body is fading, it's chipping, it's disintegrating. He is dying. But he doesn't want to tell her that. He wants no one to know that. He wants to find any bit of humanity left. Just to say, can you take care of her? She's my daughter. Are we all touching anything? Come on, go. Sorry.
It's okay. So, my last one is probably one that, if you've watched other lists like this, is always on that list. It might not be on the top, but it's sure as heck on there. And that's Angel Beats. The show where everyone is dead. And just anytime a character comes to the realization that they're dead and they're okay with that and they move on, it always gets me. The ones that got me the most were Yui, the pink-haired girl, and I think his name was Hinata, the blue-haired boy, and how they formed that kind of relationship. And because Yui in real life she was paralyzed and couldn't move, and Hinata said he would be there for her and take care of her, and I sobbed like a baby at that one because I felt like really close to Yui and just like style and personality, because cute little pink-haired girl who wears like gothy stuff, and I'm like, hey, that's me, hello. And it just hurt when they were finally, it hurt but made me happy that they were happy and came to this realization, and ow. Just ow. And then the ending of the series makes everyone cry, where Angel and the last guy are just done, and well, not done, but they can accept it and move on, and just it's over, and it hurts.
You okay?
No, I'm not okay.
Alright, she's not okay. Well, I'll finish off with my final thing, which it's a newer anime that just came out called, I don't know the full name, but it's Hosenki no Q, I think. And the whole premise of Hosenki is, and I know people are going to say, yeah, it's like Steven Universe, because it's gem related.
That's what I said.
I know, that's what Blake said too, and a few other people. But anyways, Hosenki is, there is a small group of gem-like creatures. They have no gender, they have some human emotion, but there are things like diamonds, there are things like opal, emerald, sapphire, and different metals on the periodic table. They are that element through and through, as in if you break off a finger, you can see the element no matter what. They can live and be put back together no matter what. But there are these people from the moon, or that's what they call it, the moon, who come down and try to capture, destroy, and collect them. And the sad thing about this is they lose one of their people. And then later, they notice that the arrows the moon people are using are made of that element of their friend. Whenever they lose someone, that becomes part of the other people's army. And when you're in charge like that, you can't stop it. And the more the series goes, the more dark it goes, because the main characters are high energy, I can't say boy or girl because they have no sex, but is a high energy individual who mostly just wants to be something. They want to experience life, be something proud, be something wonderful. And they're thrown into this world where their friends are being used, being shattered, being taken away. And as the series goes on, it's this happy-go-lucky spirit is just slowly being tested and destroyed. And it's just getting sadder and sadder because there's even some elements who understand this, Like there's one element who was poisonous. If anything else touches her, it starts decaying. She tries to isolate herself and wants the moon people to come kill her. She wants to be gone because she knows she's a pest, but they never come for her. And the main character wants to be her friend. Wants to be with her, wants to make her happy, wants to something. And it just, seeing a happy spirit slowly get crushed is sad.
Yeah.
Seeing her friend that she tried to make or someone she knew be used as a weapon against her is sad. And she's treated like a nobody to everybody else because she's weak.
Oh.
To everybody else, you let her touch her, she shatters because she's a weak material. Because of that, no one cares about her. The only one who's really her friend is Diamond. And the Diamond is the highest class there is. And they're the most pristine, but nobody cares about Phosphorite. So she just wants her, it wants to just impress everybody. But everybody thinks, why are you here? Some even say, why don't you just get captured?
How?
It's sad.
Yeah, it is sad.
And we'll do it for what I got.
So, we're basically done, but can we give 2 honorary shoutouts to things that are neither like a game but not anime, and then they're just like the cinematic cutscenes?
Sure. What do you got?
Overwatch, May's cutscene and story, and Reinhardt's.
I was like, no, Reinhardt. Ow.
Both of those hurt us because we watched them together.
The Reinhardt hurt me more because he was cocky before then,
Mhm.
and then that happened, which I think made him the
I have to protect these.
badass he is now. The actual
Yeah.
serious, yeah, I agree.
And May's hurt me because Snowball sacrificed himself just so she could keep going. And
Also, all their dead friends and.
I mean,
other
yeah,
scientists.
that too. But for whatever reason, Snowball hurt me more. And I mean, she wakes up and everyone she knew is gone.
Apparently, you cute me more.
And then Snowball goes and gives her the last of his power. Luckily, he comes back, but like, I maybe cried at that because May was alone for a while there. And like, I feel you on that, May. You're not a real person, but like, I feel you. I know what it's like to be alone. It hurts. A lot.
I'm talking about games. I'm gonna say something else that hurt me. I played the Berserk game for computer, and the one thing I have to say bravo to, they capture the moment of ow real good. The moment where every one of your friends dies and actual pain guts feels. They capture that well enough where I had to pause them and go, why? It hurt me again. And I thought it was okay. I'm not okay.
None of us are okay. Especially after this episode.
This has been us crying like babies.
Sure has. Especially me, because I actually did start to tear up.
But we hope you enjoyed the episode.
And maybe we gave you some anime that maybe you haven't heard of and want to check out, or maybe you have and we're like, yeah, that hurt me. That hurt me good.
And if you want, in the comments below, put what hurt you. What game, anime, manga, what hurt you the most? What made you cry like a little child?
Yeah, this will be interesting to read.
Well, that'll be generally interesting, I think.
Yeah, because like everyone likes different things. So like maybe something that made me cry didn't make you cry, but and maybe you had your own thing that you were like, that should have been on the list.
Yes, yell at us in the comments.
Yeah.
Anything, please. Now, before we fully sign off, we have mail. Well, not mail, we have email. Not email.
Comments.
Comments. There we go. Sorry. I'm crying. I'm not okay.
We weren't okay beforehand, so like it sure is a thing. But one of the comments that we got on the last video from literally forever ago was from Annie Orn, I think is how you say that. I don't know, I'm sorry, you can yell at me in the comments below if you find us again. And she just said it was nice to learn more about anime thanks to all of you. We did something good.
I'm upset now.
But thank you for watching and learning stuff. That's That's fun.
We did actually good. You actually liked learning what we had to say.
Now I feel bad that it takes us so long to do stuff.
Maybe if there's more good comments, we'll start beating ourselves up more to actually do this. Maybe.
Yeah,
Most likely.
most likely.
Just yell at us.
Yeah, something will eventually get done. But we'll do our best to make sure you keep learning things. Whether they're good things or bad things, I don't know, but maybe you'll learn something.
Today's lesson, sadness.
That's a not a good lesson, is it?
Sadness.
And the other comment that I have here is from one of our friends here in college, Caitlin. And it was about the how she liked the list that we recommended for our unknown and underrated anime. And then she gave her own recommendation of Yamishiba Japanese ghost stories.
I've actually heard of that. I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it.
Okay, I haven't heard of it, so like maybe that'll be the next thing we watch.
And just because I just thought of this, we just pick random topics to talk about every time. If you actually do watch this, and I would be amazed if anyone does, why not, like, tell us, what do you want us to talk about? Do you want us
That's
to,
actually a really good idea.
do you want us to talk about games, anime? We'll go out of our way to watch or play something. We'll do research on it. We'll give our opinions. We'll compile lists of our favorite or what we find stupid. What do you want us to do? We're just flying by the seat of our pants, and we're doing whatever's the first thing that comes to our heads half the time.
Yeah, we are.
So please, if you have a suggestion, throw it down there. We'll look it up and see what we can do.
Yeah, because I know basically all of our videos have just been anime right now.
Yeah.
So I'm sure someone
I would
was like,
like doing
what
video
about
game."
the video games or the other nerdy stuff you guys like? Because like, we can do that.
I just went silent. Anyway,
Yeah.
I think that is it for all then. I think this has been a good crying session with me and Tess. And hopefully the next episode doesn't take another 4 months. I'm sorry.
I'm really sorry, because I'm technically in charge.
Thanks, boss. And we'll see you hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Please don't forget to comment.
Or something. At least like it, maybe. You don't have to comment, you don't have to say words. At least just be like, hey, I watched this. And give us a like. Or dislike if you didn't like what we talked about.
Saying AO watches is comedy though.
But I mean, just by liking or disliking.
Anyway, that'll be all. And we hope you have a good day.
Yeah.
Goodbye.